So sometimes taking on technical debt is a strategic decision. In fact, I would argue that if taking on technical debt is not a strategic decision, then it's not technical debt, it's just sloppiness. Now that's a little bold of a statement because I'm defining technical debt as borrowing against the future to help a short-term win, knowing that you're gonna have to pay it back in the long run and manage the interest payments and all that. When you intentionally incur tech debt, for example, sometimes you intentionally take some shortcuts just to validate a market opportunity or to speed up delivery on an opportunity where it's time sensitive. We see a fair bit of this today with how fast the AI hype cycle is churning. I had a great idea for an AI app that would play right along with everybody else, and I didn't do it right away, and by next week it was obviated and we were on to something else, right? So sometimes you have to move faster than you can afford to do in a complete way. We had a client that was modernizing their legacy platform, moving it from old Oracle Java servers to a modern service-oriented architecture and being cloud native. There was a lot of investment in this platform over a couple years, but as it came down to the last mile, getting this thing launched, getting all of the customers from decades migrated over, all of their data validated and everything, and pulling the launch lever, things come up. It was a big initiative. And some of those things were existential threats to the business, like, oh no, now we're not collecting money from customers anymore, right? You do what you need to mitigate that right away. Sometimes that mitigation is a shortcut. And then you can't just say, well, we put a Band-Aid on that one, now we can move on to other features. You have to circle back once the smoke clears and take that Band-Aid off, stitch the wound, and fix it right. In this case, this launch customer, we did a very detailed analysis of every issue that was coming in from launching the new software system and migrating all users to it. And we were ruthless about prioritizing based on both effort and impact. So when you prioritize by effort and impact and you say, okay, these are the things that we have to take care of. These are the things that are super important, but they're going to take way too long. We can't let people go on with this problem. We got to get a hack in place now. So we got to put our finger in the dam. And pretty soon you can only have so many fingers. We had to come back around. And once we got to that level, because we were monitoring all of these things and every shortcut we took, we put it in a backlog. Now we can come back and say, all right, let's prioritize those and start remediating them. You don't have to do that all at once, but you allocate a percentage of time. Just like with financial debt, you may not, if you took a big debt, say to buy a house, you don't necessarily pay it all off the next week. You pay it off on a schedule. You figure out a percentage of my income is going to go to paying this down so I don't go underwater. And so, yeah, we've used tech debt to stop fires that are existential threats to the business. We've taken on tech debt in other more meaningful ways where we promised a feature, but we shortcut the entire thing and put a human man behind the curtain solving that feature because we had to get this new feature out for market timing. Everyone was talking about, we needed to be out there too. It was kind of a, if you build it, they will come situation. And so we hack in some shortcuts just to kind of get this out there and look, and it gains traction. Great. It doesn't, we can delete it, right? And so searching for a minimum viable product to secure funding, hit deadlines, get out in the market while the buzz is there, piloting new features just to test the customer demand before you invest in a robust architecture, implementing, quick win integration with some third-party partner just so that you can win the business and plan to refactor and make it elegant later, deferring non-critical optimizations to focus on core business value during crunch time. A lot of times it's like, hey, this thing is not going to scale, but it'll be fine for like a year. Let's implement the simple solution now, but we definitely have to record that as we grow, we can't just ignore, oh, hey, this is out of sight, out of mind for the last year. Making good on tech debt as a strategy requires being intentional, documenting the decision, what the gap is, and scheduling the cleanup. I think doing those kinds of things means now you have plenty of times that you can just make a informed business decision on whether to favor the short term or the long term right now. If you always favor the short term and then you never come back to pay that stuff, your business will probably be short term. We've seen this over and over again. We've seen companies hit a critical mass of tech debt that for the next 2 or 3 years, they're in a debt spiral. All they're doing is paying down the interest and accumulating principal on their debt until it bankrupts the company. They need more people to do the small things than the small things can make in revenue, and it's a negative equation.